So I had someone ask if I could make a video about how to do a proper pour over. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Very exciting. This is very exciting. There's nothing that's more legitimate or better about the pour over, but you do have the advantage of being able to take control over all of the variables of brewing coffee. To be quite honest with you though, the conventions of a pour over are pretty much the same as what your drip coffee brewer does, except there's human influence. First, what you want to do always is pre-wet your filter and do it over your cup. You want the water to go into the cup because this preheats everything and gets you ready for a good pour over. What you want to do though is make sure that you throw this water out, which I'm going to do right now. Alrighty, so now I'm going to put my ground coffee in here, and today we are brewing up with God's Gift. Very fun! What you want to make sure of too is that your scale is tared out. If you don't have a scale, that's okay. You're gonna rely more on the time, so to have a timer is gonna be crucial for a very good pour over. So I have my scale tared out. So typically speaking, you wanna follow a 1:16 ratio. This is something that has been established by the Specialty Coffee Association of America. A 1:16 ratio is gonna give you really great balance. Here's a recipe that you can follow. All right, so once we have our coffee in here, we have our pre-wet filter, we have all the scales tared out, we have our timer ready to go. I am going to add double the weight of the coffee that's in this filter for my bloom. Pour overs follow a certain rhythm. You start out with your bloom, which is a stage that helps to release the gases from the cell walls of the coffee that you have ground. This is important because if you were to just dump water in here and have it brew, those gases are in the liquid, and that's going to affect the rate in which you can extract all the good solubles of your coffee. The bloom is important, so don't skip out on it. Here we go. Make sure you get all of your grounds wet. That's more important than the weight. Perfect. And we're gonna let this sit for 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, we're gonna pour our next round of water. And I'm gonna wait 10 to 15 seconds. And go with our second one. And you wanna make sure you get the edges. So hit those edges first to make everything fall onto a flat level, okay? The most important part of the pour over is to keep the coffee wet the whole time until you're done brewing. So basically the reason why we do pulses of water is because we don't want the level, this is called the slurry level, we do not want it to rise too high because that's gonna ignore all the coffee up top. So you just want to keep it at a certain level, and once the water goes down and the coffee bed looks like it's drying, add a little bit more. Just keep it saturated with water. That's typically the whole point of pour overs. Just keep the coffee wet until you want to stop the extraction time, and then you no longer add water. So right now I've reached 250, which is the weight for my recipe. I do a 16 grams in, 250 grams out, because that's how I like it. And I am done adding water, so now I'm going to let it drain. And if all has worked out correctly, this will end around 2:45. 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So yeah, it looks like I was on it today. And then I'm gonna throw this away because we don't need it. Just to recap what we did here, we pre-wet our filter, we grind our coffee per our recipe, which typically follows a 1:16 ratio, but you can break the rules a little bit depending on what you want it to taste like. After we put our coffee into the pre-wet filter and dump the water from the pre-wet out, we can start our bloom. I wait 30 seconds, and then I put a round of water in. Typically, your cup of coffee that's average size is gonna be 3 to 4 rounds of water. All right, thanks for stopping by. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, and let me know what you want to learn about next. Cheers.